Good morning, friends, and welcome to Spoonful. My name is Lauren. Today, we're going to talk about spring changes, including my favorite dishes. How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. Is it a beautiful spring weather where you are? I'm sitting here in my great grandmother's rocking chair, and the sun is just beaming in my face, and it's like wonderful. It's kind of chilly outside, so I'm not gonna lie, that's why I'm in a sweatshirt. But the sun is out, and that's the best part about spring. So today I wanted to chat about some of the things we're changing around here now that it is spring. The first thing let's chat about is schedules. Have you noticed that when the sun starts shining, you get a little lazier in the summer? No, just me? Well, one thing, my family, we are a sleeping family. We love to sleep in this family. My husband was like, "How can y'all sleep so much?" And then now that he has been with us for over 20 years, he sleeps too. He loves to sleep too. So one thing that changes around here is schedules. Our schedule change is when we get up in the morning, it's closer to 8 a.m. I'm sorry, closer to 7 a.m. versus 6 a.m. in the wintertime, which I don't know why children get up so early in the winter and love to sleep more in the spring and summer, but they do, and my body adjusts to that right along with them, and our schedule goes right along with them. Typically, we are sitting down for breakfast about 8:15, and we start school right after. And now that we're in our spring schedule, we're sitting down to breakfast close to 9 a.m. and starting school right after. Another piece of our schedule that changes is what we do throughout the week. My son still has his co-op once a week, but now we are skipping over to my parents' house to be in the garden a lot more than, of course, in the wintertime. So during the springtime, it's usually about once a week, and in the summertime, it could be up to 3 days a week. But right now, we're just going once a week to get things in. My mother called last night, was like, "What happened to you? You got to get over here. Things are growing." I love how her panic sets in as soon as she sees green. She's like, "Something has to be done. They're green." I'm like, "Enjoy it, frolic in it." But yeah, so we will spend at least one day a week, hours on end at my parents' house, looking at the garden, plucking through things, and seeing what needs to be eaten, amended, cared for, fixed, you name it. Another piece of our schedule that changes in the springtime is activities. After school activity starts to dwindle. Yeah, so we are creeping into April. Can you believe that? Goodness, days away from April. And so in April, it's usually the last full month for everything. It's the last full month of co op, after school programs, a lot of sports, especially sports that carry from the winter into the spring, they start to dwindle and end in April or like the first week of May. Award ceremonies start popping up in the first week of May. So when we are trying to figure out exactly what we're going to get into for the next couple of months, I pay attention to all those different schedule changes and how it's going to affect us. Easter is in April. A lot of spring breaks are in April. So it's a very choppy month, and it kicks off spring. So be mindful of that just as much as we are. But yes, our schedules definitely change in spring. My son's curriculum goes through a change in the springtime also. He's wrapping up certain books, and especially in April, he's in the middle of other books. He wants to work less or do work outside. So that's a change we make. One, we go outside, and then two, we start to dwindle down in the books. And I'm speaking of his textbooks, not necessarily like storybooks, but that is a change. I will share exactly with you what we will do in the summertime, which is for us May through August. I will share some of our schedules and what we're doing about school. We're year-round schoolers, so we break and take weeks. I would say every 6, 7 weeks we take a week off, and we do other things, kind of review, play games, and such. But I'll share the summer schedule later, so stay tuned to that. Next, one of the biggest things that I began to think about during this time of year is actual spring cleaning, indoors, outdoors, especially with clothing. The weather here flips over in a week. It feels like you go from 40 degrees to a high of 60 degrees. The next week is like a high of 50, then the next week goes a high of 70, and then it settles out with a good month of 60, high 60s, low 70s degree weather, and that's April. So all those thick, cozy sweaters need to be packed up and put away. So we are up to our eyeballs in laundry because I do not shrink wrap or shrink down any clothing that is dirty. So all of my husband's sweaters, mine, my son's, get a nice, good cleaning. And then we will shrink wrap them down and put them away in our Tupperware containers. Pull out all the light colored thin sweatshirts, any thin long sleeve shirts. They can wash it and iron and put out for us to wear for the next couple months. So once our routine has been reset for the spring weather, we have our new sleep pattern, we have our new schedule where and when we're supposed to be, excuse me, and get there allergy free. Now we can adjust our eating. Every winter or late fall, we add a couple items to our menu plan. We add a soup every week. We add oatmeal to breakfast every week. We add, what else? Pastas to lunch every week. And those heavy, bulky food feels so good on the stomach and on the palate in those cold months. But now that the weather is warming up, we have a lot of days in the high 60s, low 70s. Nobody wants to eat oatmeal around here. And so oatmeal is instantly replaced with more cereal. And we like to make the cereal here. This year, I'm going to try my hand at a cereal, handmade cereal by Ruth Ann Zimmerman. She does like a cinnamon toast crunch, I believe. So my crew will love to taste that. We will try our best to find other alternatives for warm breakfast casseroles. They are great when we go camping. They're time consuming and very warm in the spring and summer months that we don't often want to eat them. So we pretty much eat deconstructed breakfast casserole a lot more often. The eggs are scrambled or boiled for my son's case. The meat is cooked up. Cheese is sprinkled on the eggs. And then sometimes we'll have fresh peppers or sauteed peppers on the side. We eat it deconstructed with some slices of toast. For some reason, it feels different than when it's baked, but it's literally the same exact ingredients. When our milk share shares with us that they have a calf, it's usually around this time between February and April. And guess what comes into the house more often? Yogurt. So my crew is going to have more yogurt. My son loves it with cereal granola on top. My husband puts it in smoothies, but yogurt intake increases for breakfast in the springtime. So, what are you guys are doing? How has your life changed now that it's spring? When we were living in Minnesota, the springtime felt like an overnight situation. We were up to our eyeballs in snow, and then one day you woke up and it was warm. The snow was still there, but it was warm, and you didn't know whether to wear a double layer Parker or a sweatshirt because you were afraid that it can drop snow, and it would all the way into the middle of April, sometimes the first of May. You can still get a foot of snow. Down here, they will freak out for a foot of snow any time of the year, let alone in a month that's earmarked for spring. So I am used to the fluctuating weather, but it is nice to know that once spring kicks in, it's here to stay. Right now, I'm about to head over to the kitchen table, sit down with the computer and apps and my grocery list, and formulate April's groceries. If you have been around here for a lick of time, you understand that I like to shop the very last few days of the month for the next month. So that means March 30th 31st, I like to buy the groceries for April. I do not shop on the first weekend of any month of the year unless I really, really, really have to. And this month, March, going into April, I don't have to, so I won't. We also put in our Azure order last night, so that will get picked up. So stick around for all the food goodies and what spring will bring around here for us. Until next time, guys, I hope you are enjoying spring and letting that into your life and all the different changes that ought to happen in your life now that everything is being reborn again. Until next time, guys, thanks for dropping by. Bye.